I'll never forget the moment she pulled her hand away. It was late evening, the two of us sitting on opposite ends of the couch, the glow of the TV flickering in the background. I reached for her fingers, wanting just a little warmth, a little reassurance. Instead, she recoiled as if my touch burned. "Stop being so needy, Daniel," she said flatly, her eyes fixed on the screen. "I need space." The word stung sharper than I expected. "Needy," I repeated, almost laughing at the absurdity. "You're my wife." I thought wanting closeness was normal. Her jaw tightened. "Not all the time. Sometimes I just want to breathe without you hovering." Hovering. That word lodged itself in my chest like a knife. I wasn't hovering. I was trying. I was trying to bridge the distance that had been growing between us for months. Her late nights, her secretive texts, the way she started turning her phone face down on the table. So I did what she asked. I gave her space. At first, I told myself it was healthy. Couples need boundaries, right? I stopped checking in as often. I stopped asking who she was texting. I stopped reaching out in bed when she rolled over to her side. But the more space I gave her, the further she drifted. She stayed late at work more often. Girls' nights multiplied. She laughed at texts I wasn't allowed to see. And I, fool that I was, convinced myself that maybe this was a phase. Maybe if I respected her space, she'd come back to me willingly, without pressure. But space doesn't always heal. Sometimes it reveals. The first crack in her story came on a Friday night. She told me she was meeting her friend Lisa for drinks. I nodded, kissed her on the cheek and said, "Have fun." 2 hours later, Lisa texted me a recipe for a pasta dish she swore I'd love. Nothing unusual, except the timestamp. She sent it from home. My chest tightened. I called her. "Hey, isn't Emily with you?" There was a pause. No," she said she was staying in tonight." "Why?" The ground shifted beneath me. My wife wasn't with Lisa. That night, I didn't confront her. I couldn't. Instead, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every "I need space" and "stop being needy" she had ever thrown at me. They weren't boundaries. They were walls. Walls built to keep me out while she let someone else in. Still, I needed proof. Cold, undeniable proof. So the next week, when she claimed she was going out again, I followed. My hands trembled on the steering wheel as I trailed her car. She drove across town, not to the bar she mentioned, but to a dimly lit restaurant tucked away in the city's quieter corner. I parked a few spaces down, heart pounding, palms sweaty. Through the restaurant's glass windows, I saw her. She wasn't alone. A man sat across from her, tall, dark-haired, leaning in too close. She was smiling in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. Her hand brushed his on the table, casual but intimate, like they'd done it 100 times before. I felt the world collapse in slow motion. Every laugh, every text, every late night, suddenly it all made sense. When she came home that night, I sat at the dining table, waiting. "Hey," she said lightly, slipping off her shoes. "You're still up?" "Yeah," I said, my voice shaking. "So how was Lisa?" She froze, keys dangling from her fingers. "Lisa?" "Yes. Lisa. Your alibi." Her eyes flickered, just for a second, before she forced a laugh. "What are you talking about? You're being paranoid again." "Paranoid? Another knife." "Don't lie to me, Emily," I whispered. "I saw you." The color drained from her face. Silence stretched between us until finally, she dropped the act. "Fine. Yes. I was with someone. But you drove me to it, Daniel. You smother me. You never give me room to breathe." The audacity of it made my vision blur. So this is my fault? You betray me, and somehow I'm the one to blame. She crossed her arms, defensive. "Maybe if you weren't so insecure, I wouldn't have had to look elsewhere for." "Stop." I cut her off, my voice cracking. "Don't finish that sentence." The days that followed were a blur of numbness and anger. Part of me wanted to scream, to demand every detail, every lie she told to cover her affair. Another part of me just wanted to curl up and disappear, to stop feeling the constant ache in my chest. She tried to justify it, of course. Said it just happened. Said she never meant to hurt me. Said she still loved me in her own way. But love doesn't lie. Love doesn't sneak around. Love doesn't recoil when you reach for a hand. What hurt the most wasn't even the affair. It was the manipulation. The way she made me doubt myself. The way she painted me as needy, just to excuse her betrayal. One night, I stood in the bedroom we once shared, staring at the empty side of the bed where she used to sleep. My chest felt hollow, my throat raw from words I couldn't say out loud. I thought about the man I had been before her, confident, hopeful, ready to give everything to the woman I loved. And I thought about the man I had become, hesitant, insecure, questioning my every move. Her betrayal had broken something in me, but in that quiet moment, I realized something important. It had also revealed the truth. I wasn't needy. I was faithful. I wasn't smothering. I was loyal. I wasn't the problem. She was. When I finally told her it was over, she didn't cry. She didn't beg. She just sighed, as if relieved the charade was ending. I guess this is for the best, she said softly. And that was it. Years of marriage reduced to a shrug and a sigh. I packed my bags the next day, leaving behind the house we built, the memories we made, and the woman who tore it all apart. Now, weeks later, I still wake up reaching for a hand that isn't there. I still hear her voice in my head, telling me I was too much. But I also hear something else, my own voice, steadier than before, reminding me that love isn't supposed to feel like suffocation. It's supposed to feel like home. And if she couldn't give me that, then maybe losing her wasn't the end of my world. Maybe it was the beginning of reclaiming myself.